Camera speed.
Sound production.
Roll sound.
Rolling.
Sound production. Take 2.
Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Remember those childhood movies you loved? Now, we're going to watch them again and find out if they're still as amazing as you remember. Or, your father was right. You were an idiot, and everything you watched was stupid. So buckle up, movie aficionados. Over-the-top gore? Check. Over-embellished action? Check. Gratuitous nudity? Double check. Storylines so absurd you could drive a semi-truck through those plot holes. Oh yeah, some of those movies didn't even know what a movie plot was. And that's the way we liked it. Now, here's your hosts, Anna Santos and Jimmy Coates.
All right. Okay, so get rid of the TikTok. Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast, live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Except today we are live on Thursday. My fault. We come on here and record our podcast live. So how this works is we start a show by reviewing our movie that we previewed last week. And last week we previewed 1998's Urban Legend. And by preview, I mean we checked out the synopsis, movie posters, DVD covers, taglines, reviews, good and bad, from audience and critics. And then we actually go over what we remember about the movie, which for me was not much. Like during watching Urban Legend, some things came back to me, but for the most part, it was almost a clean slate.
I remembered the majority of it, actually. I was really surprised with myself.
Yeah?
Like, everything seemed super familiar. I was like, yeah, no, because I was convinced I had forgotten a good chunk of it. But I was like, nah, man, this almost all of it. I remembered almost all of it. I'm so impressed with myself.
So you pretty much remembered all of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, and then we had, let me cancel that. So our general consensus was, and you said, I think I'm going to love it. I think I'm really, really going to love it. And I basically said it looked like a 90s slasher movie, which if you made a slasher after Scream, everyone called a knockoff, which I thought was unfair.
So unfair.
Yeah. After Scream, movie studios were like, holy shit, people want to see slashers again.
Yeah, it was just a reawakening of audiences. That's all it was.
Yeah.
But if there are young people in a slasher film, they're like, it's a copycat of Scream. And I'm like, no, it's not, morons.
No, they just want a bit more story, some familiar faces and cool things. Yeah. And then, all you nerds seem to hate it when the masses like something. They're calling them knockoffs. And back in the 90s, we just had to raise our fists slightly and tell them to shut up. Now we have to watch out for everyone's feelings.
You still had to watch out for people's feelings in the 90s. It's just nobody cared.
Yeah, no one cared. Yeah. So after we review Urban Legend, we are going to preview our new movies for our third and final drive-in special of the summer. 1988 Sleepaway Camp 2 Unhappy Campers and 2002's Halloween Resurrections. Movies I know I have seen, but even after going through getting all the info ready, I do not remember very well.
Halloween Resurrection, I don't know why, but I love that movie. And it hasn't been that long since I've seen it. And I in my heart, I'm like, this movie just has a chokehold on my heart. Sleepaway Camp 2, I have never seen.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Okay.
No, I haven't seen it. So this one's going to be brand spanking new for me. And I'm very excited.
Yeah, out of I was kind of excited for both, but they weren't letdowns because it allowed us to make fun of 4 movies. Like,
oh yeah.
So there was that, but actually the watching experience, the drive-ins weren't very great.
Yeah, no.
From watching the movie, talking about them and shitting on them, that was fun.
Super fun.
Actually watching those 4 movies was not fun at all. But these 2, I'm very excited about, and we'll get into that because, there's Well, we'll get into that.
We'll get into that.
Yeah. But because first we're going to do our review for Urban Legends. So, welcome back to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. We are so happy you stuck with us. I have watched Urban Legend. Have you watched Urban Legend?
I have watched Urban Legend.
And your initial thoughts?
I fucking loved it.
I knew you were going to love it.
Actually, I also like to point, it is a better made movie than I remember. I think I should point that out. Like, still cheesy. Like, we're not going to deny the cheesiness.
Right.
But it was actually higher quality, like an actual good movie. And that surprised me. I will throw that out there.
Yeah, my initial thoughts first is this is not a Scream knockoff. It's nothing like Scream.
Mm-mm.
It's also not as good as Scream.
Well, no.
But in a long list of 90s slasher movies, most weren't. It's a generic slasher movie with some good kills, like some above average acting. Not you, Tara Reid. Fair, this was before she came into her own and went on to star in the Sharknado franchise.
Of course. We can never forget that masterpiece.
Yeah, and she's in more than one. She's in
I know. Didn't
4
she,
of
like,
the 6 or something.
she, like, lost a limb or two in that franchise? If I'm not mistaken, I feel like she lost a leg or an arm.
I don't
I don't know. I've only watched, I think I watched the first one,
I've seen
and
the
then I've
first
seen
one. I've seen
bits
another
and
one.
pieces
Yeah,
of the others. And I would roll my eyes and just kind of move on. But I was like, Tara Reid.
but back in
bless.
Urban Legend, she wasn't the acting steward as we now.
Yes,
Oh,
this is
no.
true. This is true.
I had some cool kills. It did have plot holes. It had a shitload of plot holes, this movie. But it did have some nostalgia. Did nostalgia make up for the plot? Let's find out. Okay, so let's dive in. We're gonna go over the movie. There was very small plot ones, and then I found what I can only must guess is a super fan of this movie because it is a very detailed plot. So I took
I
this
love
one.
it.
I didn't really read it. I just browsed through it, and it seemed to hit everything, I believe. So,
Mhm.
okay, on a dark and rainy night, sounds like my book. A young woman named Michelle Mancini, Natasha Gregson Wagner, is driving her pickup truck. I think it wasn't a pickup truck. It was a
No, it was an SUV.
SUV. Oh, this
But like the early
forklift sucks.
SUVs that are all boxy and square.
Yeah. Listening to a college campus radio DJ. After nearly colliding with another car, she realizes that she is almost out of gas and pulls into the nearest gas station. A creepy looking rundown place in the middle of nowhere. The strange looking attendant offers to fill up her car, and Michelle offers to pay by credit card.
Mm.
She barely rolled down the window.
She barely rolled down the window.
Just enough to get that card in.
And I feel like we need to point out that the reason she almost collided with another car is because she literally turned completely around in the driver's seat to look through her CD collection.
Yes. Yeah.
And pick out a new CD.
Yes. And I don't know if Brad Dourif would appreciate being called creepy.
But he was.
Yeah, he was.
He was.
He's always looks creepy.
Yeah.
And then we also get a hint that the gas attendant has a stuttering problem.
A hint?
Yeah.
And every other word was stuttered.
Yes.
I was like, that's a little extreme, guys.
After a minute, the attendant convinces Michelle that her credit card is not working and wants her to come into his office to speak to the credit card company on the phone. However, when Michelle gets inside the station and picks up the phone, there is no one on the other line. The attendant approaches her and excitedly stutters, but he cannot say anything clearly. The fearful woman sprays mace in his face and manages to run back to her truck and speeds away while the attendant remains behind and yells after her that he's only trying to help her and screaming, "Someone's in the back seat." This was a great opening, like a great beginning.
So good.
Yeah, like that was really, really good. One of the best openings of a slasher.
Yes.
Right here at this point. After this, not so much, but right here at this point, Brad Dourif
I beg to
finally
differ, but
enunciating
okay.
properly. Yeah. But I have to say, everything that follows is on Brad Dourif's character.
Mm.
Had he tried harder in speech therapy, not only would that young lady be alive, but the killer would have been caught, and all those lives after this would have been saved.
Yes.
Yeah, it would have been a much shorter
The
movie, sure, but
life-saving techniques of speech therapy, my friends.
yes, it counts. On the road, Michelle relaxes a little bit until someone sits up in the back seat and swings an axe at her.
Mm,
Not only decapitates her, but swings the axe right through the window as well.
yes.
Impossible? Absolutely yes.
Oh, for sure.
Even
Defies
for
all the laws of physics.
yeah,
100%.
Paul fucking Bunyan couldn't have done that.
Nope, not a chance.
But it's a movie and a horror movie, so it's fine.
Yeah.
That's just shitting. I'm just shitting on it to shit on it, but it is impossible. But it was a cool scene. It was a great opening. I really did like that opening.
There was one thing that I noticed, and I had never noticed it before, and I've watched this movie multiple times. There's like flesh attached to the axe when it swings through the window.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was like, beautiful, nice touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if that's because I didn't go to the theaters and see it. I would have watched the DVD,
Mm.
and I'm wondering if it's that quality of because I had to rent this.
Oh, no.
You watched it?
My friend,
Oh, do you have the DVD?
watched it on DVD.
Oh, so the flesh was there anyway. I
The
was gonna
flesh was
say-
there through the whole thing. And but I had never noticed it before. And I was just like, oh, that's a good touch. Because it's
Yeah,
not
it
just a
came right out the
clean
window. Yeah.
axe or one that's just dripping with blood. It's like, no, he took a chunk out of her.
Yeah. That same night, inside a coffee shop lounge at Pendleton University, college student Parker Riley, Michael Rosenbaum, is telling an urban legend called the Stanley Hall Massacre about 25 years ago when a crazy professor killed a dozen students at a closed down dorm on campus. Two of the students, Natalie Simon, Alicia Witt, and Brenda Bates, Rebecca Gayhart, listen with skepticism while they listen to Parker's girlfriend, Sasha Thomas, Tara Reid, who operates a local radio call-in show. I think it's just a college radio, not a local radio.
No,
It's
it's college radio.
Yeah.
And her show is a sex show.
Yes. Which, yeah, okay, yeah, definitely, yeah. Because at the beginning, the character that got killed was listening to her, and they were talking about a caller was talking about stealing her roommate's birth control.
And
Yeah.
replacing it with baby aspirin.
Nice.
It is true. They do look very similar.
Paul Gardner, Jared Leto, a pompous college reporter, joins the group and sneers at Parker's yarn. Brenda is obviously attracted to Paul. Natalie and Brenda walk towards the closed down Stanley Hall dorm building, where they suggest they chant Bloody Mary as a gag when they are surprised by Damon Brooks, Pacey, Joshua Jackson. That's what I'm like. Oh, it's Pacey.
Everybody said that, though. That's who he was at the time. He was just Pacey.
Yeah, it's Pacey. A misfit student who taunts them over going inside the boarded up building. Natalie and Brenda split up, where Natalie goes home to her dorm room, where she interrupts her goth girl roommate, Tosh Ganeri, Danielle Harris, having sex with a goth guy.
Mhm.
I don't know how I would feel about this. I never experienced this college roommate thing, and
I did ish because I went to, I think they're calling themselves the University of Western Ontario or Western University now. I don't know what they're calling. They changed their name. Anyways, I went to Western for a year and I lived in the dorms. I was adamant that I was like, I am not living because most of the first year students were usually put in the Saugeen building. And
okay, yeah.
it's a more traditional, like you share an open space room, bathrooms are down the hall. There's like lounge areas for you to hang out in. I did not want that because I was like, I don't want somebody all up in my business. So I managed to apply for the dorm that was like an apartment. So I had a separate bedroom. I shared a bathroom with one of my roommates, and then the two other roommates that we had were on the other side of the dorm, and they shared a bathroom, and then we had a living room and a little kitchenette.
Right.
And it was a much better experience, but you're still living with people that you don't know.
Yeah.
And you're still all up in each other's business. Because I remember once, just before one of my exams, my other two roommates had decided to have friends over, and they were up until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning in the living area just having a grand time. And of course, this thing, it was a very nice building, but the walls weren't that thick, so I could hear everything. And I went out into that living room like 4 times being like, "Can you shut the fuck up? I have an exam at 9. It's now 2:30." And they're like, "Oh yeah, sorry, sorry, sorry." And then they stayed for like another half hour and I lost my shit. And so it was very similar, but not like this. And I could never in my life, because I was like, Alicia Witt just walks in, gets changed for bed in her closet, and like puts on her headphones and goes to sleep. I
Yeah.
was like, the fuck?
Yeah, that was
I'd be
weird.
like, take your dick out, get the fuck out of my room. Next
Yeah.
time, put something on the doorknob so I know you're in here.
Yeah.
Or write me a note, because I was about to say send me a text, but this was before that. Page me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I could have just thrown on some headphones and gone to sleep.
Mm-mm.
No.
Fuck no.
No, there'd be a lot of, "Jimmy, stop looking. Jimmy, turn around. Jimmy, stop touching yourself. Jimmy, you're freaking us out."
See, and with me, there'd be a lot of, "Sir, take your dick out of her and get the fuck out of my room. I'm going to bed, you're not staying."
Yeah, no, I thought that was weird, but
Also, her roommate took a lot of liberties. There was no way you would be smoking in the building. There's no way you would have painted your half of the room black.
yeah.
Had your own I was like, "What the fuck?" It's very weird, but anyways.
The next day in class, Professor William Wexler, Robert England, is discussing folklore and urban legends. Damon, the class goof off, walks up to the front of the class and tries drinking soda and Pop Rocks candy to prove the urban legend that his stomach will not explode. Actually, first Brenda is asked to try it because she's
Mhm.
making, and she's a little afraid to do it. And she tried to tell the professor that one of the urban legends he was talking about actually did happen in her hometown. So he made her demonstrate, but she refused to do it. Then Pacey did it.
Yes.
All right, Damon. Um, Damon, then feigns going into a seizure and playing dead, much to the annoyance of Wexler and the amusement of his friends.
Mm.
Later that day, Natalie and Brenda see Paul distributing out newspapers detailing about the decapitation murder the previous night, in which the stuffy Dean Adams and the campus security guard, Reese Wilson, Loretta Devine,
Mhm.
seizes copies of the school paper about the recent murder. Paul protests to the dean about a possible murder on campus, but Adams tells Paul that there is no killer and the only crazy person is him.
Yes.
Yeah. I know the removing of the paper is to bring doubt on the campus and an authority, but it was a little thin, like the reasoning behind it.
Well, I think it's also it mirrors, how they treated or talked about the massacre that happened 25 years before.
Yeah.
Like, they brush it under the rug and nobody talks about it and yada, yada, yada. So it kinda mirrors that where, like, murders start happening and they're like, "Nothing happened. I don't know what you're talking about. It's fine." And Reese is my favorite. Um, in the second movie, she becomes my super favorite,
Oh,
but
is
I
she in
really
the
like her.
second movie?
She's in the second movie. Yeah, and, I love her so much in that movie, but anyways, um, yeah, no, it's a very normal, like, school administration thing to brush something like this under the rug.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Super prevalent. Any crime that's on a campus, they're never gonna admit to it.
Yeah. No, no, they don't want any bad publicity. No.
Yeah, they wanna be voted, safest campus so that everybody feels,
Safe.
safe sending their precious little babies off to school.
Yeah. Later that day, Natalie, Brenda, Paul, Parker, Sasha, and Damon meet where they discuss the murder. Natalie claims not to know the murder victim, but she has in her possession a high school yearbook, which shows that Natalie and Michelle were captains of their cheerleading squad.
Mhm.
That evening, Damon arrives at Natalie's dorm room to console her, and takes her someplace in his car to talk. Okay, the fact that Natalie fell for this "let's go talk" makes me question how she can survive to the end of this movie.
You wanna know how? I will fucking tell you how. Because this is a problem that still persists to this day.
I know, and it shouldn't. Like, the warning signs have been prevalent for decades.
Yes, because women, when they make friends with men, they think we're just friends.
Yeah.
So when a man says, "Oh, you don't feel good? Oh, here, like let's go watch a movie or let's go." You're thinking, "That's really nice. He's being a good friend." Then we don't think he's trying to get in our pants, but he's
S-
thinking, "This is how I get in her pants."
Yeah. Silly women.
And then we end up losing a friend because we're like, "Well, what the fuck? You were only my friend to get in my pants?" And this is the problem because
Duh.
men think the way to get into a woman's pants
Just be
is
nice to
to
them.
become her friend.
Yeah.
No, not to be nice,
Oh,
because you
just
can
be
be
a
nice
friend.
and not be someone's friend.
Yeah, that's true.
But if you position yourself as a friend and you tell them, "Yeah, we're friends. Yeah, we're friends." Weirdly, and I know this is gonna shock a lot of people, women will take you at your word.
Again,
S
silly
s
women.
I know, right? Fucking believing what you're saying, not expecting you to lie through your teeth. Crazy. But yeah, this is exactly because she's like, "Oh, Damon's being a friend,"
Yeah.
because she
Yeah.
has shown 0 reason for him to think that she's interested. But yet still, in his mind, he's like, "Well, if I get her at a secluded spot, give her a warm beer and talk some bullshit to her, she'll give it up to me in the front seat of my car."
Yeah, that's the surefire recipe right there.
100 if you're ever gonna seduce a woman, that's what you do. Fuck flowers, fuck taking her out to a nice dinner, fuck getting
Yeah.
to know her
No,
and really caring about her. No,
a
no, no.
beer
None
and a
of that
shoulder to
shit.
cry on.
Warm beer in the front seat of a car.
After driving to a secluded part in the nearby woods, Natalie is angry to discover that Damon only wants to talk to her to persuade her from some need of lovin'. Some
Mm.
love. I didn't write this, but it reads like I talk. But she's shocked. Like I actually was there. I'm like, movie broads are so dumb.
Do you know how many times all of a sudden one of my guy friends is trying to like come in for a kiss and I'm like, "Dude,
What?
the fuck you doing?"
Oh, I thought I got the signal.
And literally they're like, "But you've been talking to me all night." "Yes, because you're my friend. I talk to my female friends all night. They don't try to kiss me." Mostly.
Oh, kudos on the Dawson Creek song on the radio.
100%. I love that.
Yeah.
That was the greatest.
After Natalie becomes angry and demands that Damon take her home, he exits the car to the call of nature when someone attacks him with a rope. Actually, she punches him in the face.
She totally punches him in the face, and then the best part is, she was like, "1 black eye or 2?" And he's
Yeah.
like, "Fine, I'm gonna go piss, and then we can go." Sucker.
And this is where I'm like, this is the beginning part of the movie where it's like, okay, we're taking reality and we're going to throw it right out the window here.
Mhm.
When Natalie goes to check on him, the killer wearing a heavy hooded winter overcoat, like the one that was hiding in the back of the car at the beginning, attacks her. As she tries to drive away, Damon, tied to a rope attached to the bumper of the car, is hoisted up and choked to death. So let's not even get into the difficulty of overpowering another man. Like, fine, let's get woke. How difficult it is to overpower another person, no matter how they identified. Actually, man or female, this would be very difficult to
It would
overpower them.
to well, you could probably overpower them.
Like,
Where
I'm a
you
man's man. I could probably overpower them.
Sure, sure. Um, I'm me, so
Can't
I
even
could probably
overpower my
overpower
kids when they
It's a
take something from the
four-year-old, right?
fridge. Yeah. When she takes a freezy from the
She
fridge.
she fucks you up. Um No, overpowering, I could kind of I'm like, I'll give you leeway for that because it is possible. I mean, if you hit some very particular spots, especially on a man, you like weaken and daze them.
Yep.
It's possible. The part I had trouble with was getting the rope, which is already attached to his neck,
Yeah.
over the branch, tying it to the to the bumper, and putting him on top without her seeing anything. And with
Yeah.
only 1 thump on the
Yeah.
top of the,
And
like,
that
roof
was
car
actually,
roof.
yes, that was actually probably like to overpower them whilst throwing a rope over a tree and then making the noose. And maybe had the noose already done. That'd be the smart way of doing it.
No, I don't
Um,
think it was already done
I don't think so either.
because when you see the rope wrapped around his neck, it's not in a noose. It's just wrapped around there,
Yeah,
and I
it's
was
just
like
wrapped around.
and for the amount of time that passes,
Yes.
impossible.
Look at us learning serial killing.
I know, right?
And then get said person's head into the noose, hoisting them up just high enough to be able to tap that roof.
Yeah.
All this, mind you, in the time span of a minute or so, because she got out of the car to find Pacey. She
Mhm.
was like, "Get your Dawson's Creek ass back in the car and drive me home." Sees the killer, runs back to the car. Either didn't see Pacey already hanging over the car, or the killer hadn't done it yet.
I don't think the killer had done it yet because
No,
remember there's this big thump and
yeah,
the roof of the car kinda bends.
yeah, and she didn't say,
I
"Hey,
think
Pacey."
yeah, I think that's when Pacey God bless, I'm sorry, Joshua Jackson. I think
David.
that's when Pacey no, Joshua Jackson. Joshua. That's when Pacey, I think, hits the roof. But then I'm sitting there going, "How did you get him up there
Yeah, so quick.
so quick?" Running around from the front of the car, if I'm not mistaken, that's where the fight was happening.
Yeah,
Where the fuck was Pacey during this?
yeah,
Like, it defies logic. There
yes,
is absolutely 0 logic in this particular sequence, and I'm not mad about that because 'cause I'm like, there's a serial killer pattering his kills on, urban legends. We're
yep,
not in the realm of reality right now.
definitely not.
It's not a thing I have to worry about.
His body lands on top of the car, forcing Natalie to get out and run. Natalie goes to the campus security office and tells Reese about the killing. But when both arrive at the scene, the body of Damon and the car are gone. She didn't just get out and run. She drove the car into a tree, did she not?
Yes.
Yes. Why didn't she just show the cop the evidence of the tree? And like, this happened 10 minutes ago.
Uh,
Like, this killer could clean a crime scene like it was nobody's business.
it happened really, really fast, and I was very, very impressed. But also at the same time, I'm like, "How close to campus were you? How long did it take you to run to this security officer?
Yeah.
How
Wasn't she a
long"
cop, or was she a
N
security
no, she was
officer?
just a campus security officer.
Okay, so that again, and I'm like, why didn't Officer Reese call 911 for like for some backup? Someone got
No.
murdered and assaulted, and she brought the victim back.
No, she was just told that someone got murdered and assaulted.
Yeah,
So she was like, "Sure, honey. Sure." Because what does she say? "We were in a car in the thing, and my friend got killed." Or my friend, because she saw the body hanging. He was hanged. So she thinks, "Okay, he's already dead. I'm gonna go back with someone who has a gun." Little did she know, there
yeah.
was no one there. That's one of my gripes about, Alicia Witt's character, whose name I keep forgetting. Fuck, Natalie.
Natalie.
Um, she is apparently smart and capable, but one of the biggest morons and so fragile. And I feel like the character wasn't fully developed. Like they wanted a damsel in distress, but they also wanted a final girl.
Yeah,
And I'm like, you can't really like you can have a damsel in distress to a point, and then she's got to turn into a final girl. I'm like, you can't have damsel in distress, final girl, like switching spots through the entire movie. But that's my
yeah.
I'm like, they could have done that better.
Now, would you have went out went back to if that just happened to you? Would you go back out with the security guard? Because not for not, and I love her as an actress, but Officer Reese was overweight and old. She was 49, and let's just say, like cake.
She's like the majority of security guards in out in the world.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
I'm go ahead, tell me I'm wrong.
No, when you think about it, you're right. I wouldn't.
The majority of them. The others, there are the ones who were like, "Ah, this is a pretty decent job. I watch monitors, I walk the mall, whatever." And then there's a small group who got rejected from the police academy,
Yeah, yeah,
and they're just biding their time and
yeah,
harassing people at the mall because they're really into law and order and undercover psychos. Um, so I think Reese is just the one that, I've worked here long enough. And, these kids are crazy. It's probably just a prank or a joke.
yeah. And I'm not trying to gender bash. age bash or weight jack. If say what's his name? Carol Connor from In the Heat of the Night.
Yes.
If he was a security guard and he said, "Come on, let's go back to the scene of the crime where you almost got murdered," I wouldn't go with that fucking guy either because he was 50 years old during that show, and I wouldn't go with
Valid.
him either.
Valid.
I wouldn't go with myself, let alone even if I had a gun. The next day, after failing to locate, I keep wanting to say Pacey, Damon, Natalie's friends are skeptic to her claims of a murder and think that Damon's disappearance is one of his practical jokes. Okay, so they did go out, Officer
Mhm.
Reese and Natalie, and there was nothing there, and she
Nothing.
just thinks she's nuts.
Yes.
Now they think it's just a practical joke. This again is, I mean, this is some high-end practical joking, although it would explain nothing being there when her and Officer Reese got there. If it was a
Yes.
practical joke that everyone just cleaned it up. Uh, him just popping up over the car so quick would have explained that. They should have had like this, like an April Fool's Day movie vibe, like the 80s movie.
Mm.
But I did like how there were arguments from both sides and everyone, how this could be a joke or not be a joke.
Yeah.
Like, why isn't he here to take credit for this joke?
Yes.
He already said he had a bachelor party to go to. He will definitely rub it in your face when he gets back. So I did like that part of it. And she called and asked if a guy with blonde, and they said yes, a blonde dude did check in.
Mhm.
But how many guys frosted their hair in the 90s?
So many.
Like a lot. And this was before
So
people,
many.
way before people identified as douchebags.
Valid.
But it was frosting your hair was a 90s
Oh,
thing.
well, Damon's hair is bleached, but I
Yes.
don't know the number of times that someone with frosted tips was being called blonde,
Yes.
and I'm like, but, like, still 80% of their hair is
Was
brunette,
brown. Yeah.
but then they just have their frosted tips, and, God, what was it? Is it Before 4? Do you remember that group?
No.
I
Before
think it was
4.
Before 4. It was, like, twins and another guy, and they're Canadian, true story. Um, yes, I'm confirming it is Before 4.
And
One
frosted
guy
tip.
one guy had red, like, frosted hair, like, tipped hair, and then the other 2, the twins, had blonde frosted tips,
Oh, look at
and
that. There they are.
yes, it's mildly traumatizing, but,
Wow. Yeah,
w
2000.
listening to the music now, you're just like, "Oh god." But that's you would look at those guys and be like, "Yeah, they're blonde," but really they're brunettes. So, you see frosted tips, which was abundant in the late '90s
Oh, God, yes.
and the
I
early
I had friends
2000s.
that frosted, yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
It was terrible. It was a terrible, terrible time for
Frosted
hair in
tips
general.
and the beginning of, Celtic, tattoos
Oh,
on the arm. Yeah, yeah.
yes. And then what's her name? Pamela Anderson fucked everybody up and got the barbed wire tattoo, and then everybody had
Oh,
to get it around their bicep. God, so traumatizing.
yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So yeah, so he could have been mistaken for somebody. The room wasn't in his name or on his credit card. None of the rentals. There was a ticket bought for him, but this was also before like 9/11, so there
Yeah,
wasn't as much like digital or computer following and checking in and stuff like that. So, I mean, this is when you could still buy paper tickets at a travel agency.
yes. And they probably wouldn't give you as much information as she gave her,
Yeah.
even back then. But yeah, and that's what I was alluding to with the frosted tips. Like it was done a lot, and people did. If you're just frosted blonde, whether you're
Yep.
brunette or not, people called you a blonde.
Yep.
Yeah. Natalie goes to the library to research urban legends by reading a book titled The Encyclopedia of Urban Legends. While Natalie's at the library, Tosh meets a fellow goth guy online and they plan to meet. What a whore. And I mean that as a compliment. Where were these angels when I went to school?
They were there, they just weren't sleeping with you.
Exactly. Now they're not. Now they're bitches. No.
Dude.
But come on, boys and girls, even if you are not in a serial killer movie or like situation, this is a very bad idea.
No, it's incredibly dangerous, and I feel like nobody gave her the, like, safety talk. Because I'm like,
Mm-mm.
"Yeah, girl, you're just asking to get killed."
She did not watch one after school special ever.
Nope, not
Nope.
one. She did not know about stranger danger. Nobody told her that.
No. Like, she didn't invent this guy. She didn't even see a photo.
Nope.
I could have showed up with badly applied mascara.
Mm.
Hey, I'm totally goth. Can we fuck now? Like,
She would have been down with that. Mind you, she had her own problems,
yeah, yeah.
which I
Oh,
really
yeah.
yeah, the bottle of lithium, which very strong, was prescribed a lot for people who were very, very depressed.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, she had her own issues. Um, and I guess she was working through it by having a lot of sex.
Yep.
And yo, more power to her if that's what but she needed to be safer. I guess she
Yeah.
thought since she was like doing it in her
In
dorm
school and
room.
in the dorm room. Yeah.
I'm
Which
like, yeah,
we
but girl,
soon find out is that
yeah,
doesn't mean you're safe.
your sex noises sound a lot like you're getting killed noises.
Yes, and when she at the beginning of the movie where she put her headphones on,
Yeah.
the noises were quite similar to her getting choked to death.
But I hate to say this, but this is true of everybody, even in real life. Your getting killed noises are very, very similar to your sex noises unless you're a talker.
Oh, then my
So
killer's gonna be
unless
very upset. He's gonna be, like, really freaked out when he kills me, like, "What fucking noise are you making, dude?"
I don't even wanna know, please don't talk. Please don't tell me
You don't
your
want a
sex noises.
demonstration? Okay.
No! Keep your sex noises to yourself. But it's true of
Probably why my
everybody.
wife puts headphones on.
Grunting, moaning, grunting, groaning,
Yeah,
screaming, if it's being done right. Um, these are all things that happen when you're having sex
yeah.
and getting killed. So unless you're a narrator during sex, it could be easily, like, mixed up. So I'm just saying for the safety of everybody, maybe don't have sex with random strangers that you meet on the internet
Yeah. Yeah, like,
without
yeah.
meeting them in public first and properly vetting them. I'm
Yeah,
just
because
saying.
this wasn't even, like, Tinder or anything. This was, like, a
No.
chat room.
Yes.
"Hey, any guy out there? I'm out here. Sweet, come by."
Pretty much tell me what room you're in.
Yeah.
And then it says yours. And I'm like, girl,
Yeah,
you
when she
did.
gets back, yours.
Yeah. At least she went to freshen up. That was nice of her.
Yeah. When she returns from the bathroom to get and actually, if, for those listening, she was the bad girl from Roseanne.
Mhm.
She's been in tons of stuff back in the,
Yeah.
yeah. It did not look like her. They gothed her up pretty good.
She was also wasn't she the one that played Michael Myers' niece?
Yes, she played
Yes.
in the 2 number 4 and
In
5, she was
there
Michael
you go.
Myers' niece, yeah. She returns from the bathroom to get ready for her date. The killer's waiting for her in the room and attacks. As absurd as the scene is, while Natalie walks into the room, it was a great scene. I did enjoy this
Yes.
scene. It was silly, but it's like you're saying, it her getting killed sounded a lot like when she was having sex at the beginning, and she's
Yes.
just like, she's just having sex again.
That's something I noticed about this movie. They give you hints earlier in the movie that end up linking up to a part later in the movie. And they do this repeatedly, and you're just like, "I see what you did there." Someone was when they wrote this script and when they edited it, they paid attention to that. I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Some of it defies logic, but you get a lot of callbacks, and I appreciate that.
Natalie walks into the room and assumes the noises are Tosh having sex again. The killer pulls out the electrical plugs for the lights in the room, and Natalie goes to bed, not realizing that Tosh is being strangled to death. The next morning, Natalie wakes up and sees her roommate dead from slash wrist and a message left by the killer written on the wall in blood saying, "Aren't you glad you didn't turn on the lights?" As cool as that was from a movie watching experience, the killer took a big chance not having anyone woken up doing all that work.
Yes and no, 'cause, Natalie wasn't gonna look over. Because as far as Natalie knew, Danielle Tosh was, having sex. So
Yes.
she's like, "I'm gonna keep my eyes closed, I'm gonna keep my music on, and I'm gonna wait until the morning." and
Yeah.
then walk out of here quietly to go to the bathroom down the hall.
Everyone thinks that Tosh committed suicide, and the message on the wall was a very morbid suicide note. Natalie convinces Paul that Tosh's death was not a suicide, and they look for evidence about the Stanley Hall massacre, but they find no evidence, and all the old newspaper clippings in the library from 1972, where the killings took place, are gone. Natalie and Paul run into the creepy-looking janitor, Anna's grocery buddy,
Yes.
where they ask him questions about Stanley Hall massacre, and the janitor tells them to talk to Wexler.
Mm-hmm.
Natalie and Paul sneak into Wexler's office for evidence and are caught by the professor. Not before they find the secret room with a staggering amount of evidence, which actually makes sense for the professor to have. But it was actually a great misdirect.
Yes, it was a really great misdirect. And it added a creep factor to the professor, which he was already working on.
Yeah.
Because even when he was teaching the class, I was like, "There's something off about you."
Well, Robert Englund just has that.
He just
ability
has a
to-
natural creep factor. God
Yeah.
bless. And he portrays it so well, and I love that about him. And then you walk into a secret room in the professor's, and you see a bunch of stuff that's basically killing accessories. And
Yeah.
you're like, this doesn't bode well for them. And it doesn't. But
No.
also, why did they have to break into the office? They were just supposed to go talk to Wexler.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you don't have to break in and start snooping around.
No,
All you have
they
to
were
do-
going there to talk to him.
Yeah. And then they were like, "Oh, he's not here, so let's break in and like look for stuff to see if he's the killer." And you're like, "Where did that come from?"
Yeah. Brought before Dean Adams, Paul asks about the Stanley Hall massacre, but the dean avoids the question by telling Paul that he's fired from the school newspaper. Excuse me. And Natalie that she has Adams further tells Natalie that she has a criminal record for reckless endangerment and served a year of probation, and that she too is to stop investigating the urban legend about the Stanley Hall massacre if she wants to stay in college. Outside, Paul becomes angry when Natalie continues to avoid his questions about the past or if she knew Michelle. Later, Natalie walks into the campus swimming pool where Brenda is doing laps. I was going to bring this up earlier because I thought the plot missed it. When she thinks she sees the killer approach, but the figure in the winter coat is only a fellow colleague. Also, this is a popular coat.
Yeah. Especially because it looks like this is somewhere in like maybe New England or like I think it was filmed at U of T, funnily enough. But
Yeah, it was actually, yeah.
yeah. So it looks like the northeastern United States, like one of those Ivy League schools up there. So I'm like, do you know how many of the exact same parkas you will see on a campus? Of course, you can't just look at someone wearing a parka and be like, "That's the killer,"
Yeah.
because it could literally be anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be a Costco nearby. Probably
Mhm.
every other person had the same parka. In the locker room, Natalie confides in Brenda that she did know Michelle. She tells the story of how she and Michelle were out driving one night on a dark road without their car headlights on when passing a car and flashed them. Damn it. I'm going to start that over. In the locker room, Natalie confides in Brenda that she did know Michelle. She tells the story of how she and Michelle were out driving one night on a dark road without their car headlights on when a passing car flashed them. And with Michelle driving, they chased down the car in which the car went off the road and the driver was killed. First off, commendable for being honest. Like
Yes,
back when
finally.
they ran him off the road. Second, stupid for being honest. It's your word against a dead person. Hello. I'd be like, yeah, I don't know if he was drunk, on drugs, nuts, but he was
You
driving
would.
erratic.
Natalie is honest
Yeah.
and trusting, which is why
Yeah.
she makes her the perfect victim in a slasher movie.
Yeah, because you know it was Natalie. Like, Brenda, we got to tell the truth. Do
Yeah.
we got to tell the truth, Natalie? Yeah, that's what I'd be saying. I'd be like, shut up, bitch. That evening, Dean Adams. Oh,
Dean Adams.
it's a typo. This is the person who wrote this, who made the mistake. I'm just the idiot that read it like that. Dean Adams is in the parking garage to drive home when the killer ambushes him and kills him by slashing his ankles and driving over him with his own car. Actually, the killer put a neutral and it rolled over him
Yeah.
on the
Well, and
spikes in the
on the
parking garage.
spikes.
Yeah.
But
That
this is the cut to the ankles, to the Achilles heel. That part, or the Achilles tendon,
yeah.
that part always makes me so nauseous.
Oh yeah. That would be
Because once you get cut in your Achilles tendon, you can't walk.
yeah,
You're
no.
done for.
Like you ever get one of those bad muscle things in the back of your leg and if you stretch it, it balls up a bit. No, maybe that's just me.
It's been a while.
Yeah. But I can only imagine that getting your Achilles tendon cut would be much worse.
You literally can't move your feet. Like,
No,
you
you
can't
can't.
navigate. So
Yeah.
you can't stand on your feet either because
No.
you have no tension there. So it basically just it lames you.
Yeah. And the whole time I'm like, roll to your right. Shit, roll to your left.
Roll, just
He
roll.
just had to roll. No one was driving. And yeah, and then it squished him onto the
Onto the spikes.
spikes. At a fraternity party where Parker is throwing.
Mhm.
Jesus, you think I actually did write this?
Sorry.
Paul arrives with an old newspaper article given to him by the janitor, which tells that Wexler was the sole survivor of the 72 Stanley Hall massacre and that he may be responsible for the killings. When Natalie admits to having feelings for Paul, they kiss. Brenda sees this and in a jealous rage leaves the party. Is it me or is the math adding up? Natalie's kind of a dick.
Natalie's totally a dick. Like, don't get me wrong. A very young Jared Leto, incredibly attractive. I would make out with him too. However, I wouldn't make out with him at his current age because I'm personally very convinced that he did actually make a deal with the devil to keep looking the exact same age for the last 30 years.
He's aged pretty good.
Yeah, for reals. I
Yeah.
want to know what that skincare routine is. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is, I'm scared for my life, and if I find out that my professor might be a serial killer who's targeting all of my friends, I'm not making out with anybody.
See, I would.
I would not. I would not be making kissy face with people, especially not the guy who just told me that my professor is the only survivor of the last massacre, and he thinks he might be responsible for this massacre.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the most romantic thing someone could say to me. I definitely want to make out with someone after that.
Pacey should have took notes. A little later during the party, Parker gets a phone call and is told about what happened to his pet dog. It was cooked in a kitchen microwave over as another urban legend. He runs into the nearby bathroom to throw up when the killer attacks him and kills him by pouring pop rocks and liquid Drano down his throat. Okay, this is a little off because the killer calls, and yes, I did get a Scream vibe here.
Yes.
But I think that was done on purpose.
It's also an urban legend. Because the call was coming from inside the house,
which
so
is what he thought it was.
Yeah. And then it turned out that it wasn't that one.
It's the one about the dog in the microwave.
Yeah, the old woman who dries her dog in the microwave.
Yeah.
Then he opens up that microwave, and I was like,
and he runs to the kitchen. The microwave goes off. He hesitates to open the microwave, rightfully so. The dog is everywhere.
Dog mush.
Yeah.
Which is terrible. I'm sorry. R.I.P. dog.
I don't know how the dog going in the microwave could. Yeah.
It defies logic.
Yeah. But he heads to the bathroom to throw up, and then it's pop rocks and liquid Drano. Now, kids, I haven't tested this, but I can almost certainly say pop rocks and liquid Drano will indeed not kill you. Try it and see. No.
Don't say that.
Can you imagine? The guy on the podcast said it wouldn't, but I think it might.
No, Drano will always kill you.
Tummy.
Drano will always kill you. Do not drink Drano. Do not drink bleach. Do not drink any kind of chemical. Just don't do it. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
There you go. See, look, I just saved us from a lawsuit.
Losers. Natalie hears Sasha screaming over the radio and runs over to the station, but is too late as the killer catches up to Sasha and axes her to death. Meanwhile, Reese searches Wexler's office but finds the floor covered with blood. She calls the police, but because. Okay, hold on. No, I missed something.
Okay.
While Natalie is trying to reach Paul, while Natalie is trying to reach Paul, who ran off, Sasha is attacked at the radio station by the killer, who chases her through the building with an axe.
Mhm.
This whole scene, it was like Natalie or
Sasha.
Sasha had no luck at all.
None whatsoever, no matter where she turned or where she went.
Every
Like,
decision she
killer was
made was
there.
wrong.
The killer was there, but I wanna point out that when this scene starts, like, at the radio station, and Sasha's there, and the producer
Gets
gets
it.
killed behind
Yes.
her, fucking gorgeous scene.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
Fucking gorgeous. And then there's also at one point where she's running away from the killer, and she goes through a door and locks it, and then she's looking through the glass in the door at the killer.
Yep.
The framing of that shot was beautiful.
Oh
I
yeah,
was like,
it
"Oh,
was shot really well.
yeah, like, the entire chase, this movie was just a beautifully shot movie." I was like, "God, this is what I was talking about, where it's like a good movie." I was like, "Oh." So there were a couple moments during poor Sasha's, kill scene, well, chase and kill scene, that I was like, "This is really well done." And then RIP Sasha.
Yeah. She has had some bad luck. It was like the killer had a copy of the script or something. Just everywhere she was going.
It's like
Elevator.
the killer could teleport.
Yeah.
Every time she turned around, there he was.
Yeah, because when she went up the elevator, she could have went back down. Could have went
Mhm.
to another floor. No, got out of the floor of the
Back to the
elevator.
studio.
Displayed.
Jesus.
Yeah, could have went to any other room on that floor, went to the one with the most windows where
Mhm.
the killer's most likely gonna see you going, yeah. Natalie hears Sasha screaming over the radio and runs over to the station, but it's too late as the killer catches up to Sasha and axes her to death. Yeah, you're right. That I did like that scene. Although it was like the killer just happened to do everything or be everywhere where she was going, but it was a well shot scene.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Reese searches Wexler's office but finds the floor covered with blood. She calls the police, but because of a serious thunderstorm, the roads are washed out. Reese goes off to find the killer on her own, except that there was no thunderstorm. I don't even think it was raining
No,
outside
no, no,
here.
it was still raining.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it was raining through, like, that entire night.
Oh, okay.
So even when Sasha was running to her car to go to the radio station, she got drenched. I remember that because it was really stupid. Because I
Yeah.
hate when girls are like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god," and she did that to the car while it was I'm like, "It's fucking water, and you're about to go on the radio. You're not even going on TV, on the r nobody's gonna fucking see you.
Yeah.
Deal with it, girl." Anyways.
Natalie runs into Paul outside her doom her doom room. Maybe I should read over these for Natalie runs into Paul outside her dorm room
Yes.
and becomes suspicious to where he went during the time Sasha was killed. They both find Brenda, in which they become suspicious about her. They drive away from the campus to look for help when they stop at another gas station. While Paul goes to a phone to call the police, Brenda and Natalie notice a strange odor, and upon opening the trunk, they discover the dead and mangled body of Professor Wexler.
I'd like to point out that the reason why they go into the trunk to look at it is because they hear his very distinct cell phone ring,
Yes.
which it rang during his class at the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
It was
Yeah.
another really great callback.
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was very well done. They both run away and into a nearby woods where they both split up. On a back road, Natalie's picked up by the eerie janitor,
Mhm.
but the killer chases them in another car. Okay, not before she sees the same winter coat
Of course.
as the killer. But Paul's car, or his Jeep or whatever he was driving, heading toward them with the lights off, and the janitor flicks his lights, signifying the gang headlights urban legend. The the plot, while thorough, misses a lot of cool shit. Like the janitor flicks his car lights on, then the bad guy's car turns on, and
Mhm.
of course it's the killer. But how the fuck did they know Natalie was in the car?
Um, this is the omniscient, it's omniscient, killer who knows everything, knows where everybody's going to be,
Yes.
and shows up
Yeah.
before anybody gets there.
Yeah. And the janitor runs because okay, we know it's not. We're not spoiling anything. We know who the killer is. That means in the woods,
Mhm.
back out of the woods, back there, stealing the. Yeah, it's just yeah, it was a lot to take. And the
Oh,
janitor's truck,
100%.
the janitor's truck runs off the road in which the janitor hits his head and is killed. Did he die? Yeah, or was he? Yeah, I guess he died
He might have died or been unconscious, I can't
unconscious.
remember.
Yeah. Natalie returns to the campus and tries calling for help on a police phone, but she hears screams from inside the abandoned Stanley Hall building where there is a light on the third floor. Natalie breaks in. Because if you're a chick and you hear screams coming from an abandoned house, of course that's what you're going to do. You're not going to go get more help. You're
If
going
you
to,
were alone
and you're alone. Oh, yeah. And
on
you're
a
alone.
rainy night being chased by a serial killer and you hear screaming coming from an abandoned dorm that had a massacre happen in it 25 years ago and was shut down immediately afterwards. Of course you run to the screaming.
I'd
Of
be like,
course.
nope.
Any normal person would be like, "I'm just gonna keep trying to call the police. Thank you."
Yeah.
Normal people would do that.
Yeah.
Not Natalie. No. For some reason, she's like, "I haven't been able to help myself or anybody else through this entire thing,
Yeah. No.
but I'm gonna help that woman that's screaming in that abandoned house. Yes, I am."
Yeah. Natalie breaks in to look around and finds the dead bodies of Parker, Adams, and Damon. She finds Brenda lying motionless on a bed in a room lit with hundreds of different candles. But before she can react, Natalie is knocked out. Waking up later, Natalie finds herself tied to the bed with the killer standing over, in which the hood comes off to reveal. Dun dun dun. Brenda.
Brenda. But can we just point out that the way they signify, because I wanna give props to Rebecca Gayheart for playing crazy super well.
I have a note that says that. Yeah.
Yeah, but the way they made her, like, they were like, "Okay, now we're into crazy Brenda," is her hair was exceptionally large
Yeah. Very frizzy.
and her eyeliner was very dark.
Yeah. She looked a lot different.
And I was like, "Is this your, like, cliché crazy?" Because I
Yeah.
was like, "This just means she brushed out her curly hair and that got that big." I look like that sometimes too.
No longer acting like the casualty. Oh, Jesus. Nice and friendly girl as seen through the movie. The sneering and wild-eyed Brenda explains to Natalie that the boy who was killed in the accident by Michelle and Natalie years before was Brenda's boyfriend. And yes, I have a note. One, this is the absolute worst plot hole of the whole movie. Second, Brenda, Rebecca Gayheart.
Yeah.
My note was absolutely awesome as the crazy serial killer. She
Oh,
played it so well.
so well.
Yeah.
So, so well. And why is it a plot hole for the boyfriend being killed?
Okay. Brenda befriended Natalie this whole time to torment her with the urban legend as her insane way of getting even with her. I get why you wanted everyone to like Natalie. You can sympathize with her character, but
Yeah.
it makes 0% that this crazy bitch would do all this tormenting and killing for the accessory to the murder of her boyfriend. She would do this for the actual murderer. Natalie should have been killed first, and Michelle and her friends should have been tormented and murdered. And this where because Natalie wasn't driving. Michelle was the actual person that killed her boyfriend. And this, as it dawned on me, killed it for me. Because
Mm,
you're just killing the accessory to the murderer. The actual murderer of your boyfriend, you already killed at the beginning. And I get it. You don't want the person at the end of the movie being the jerk, the murderer and having no trying to get away with it, that type of thing. You're not going to sympathize with it. You're going to sympathize with Natalie.
but
So
I would counter with Brenda's fucking batshit crazy.
I guess you could.
None of this makes sense.
That is true. I can't
But
argue with that.
also, because if she kills Michelle first, Michelle Mancini, I love that name, and then kills a bunch of people who have nothing to do with the car thing, and then kills Natalie, then Brenda's covered. But if she just kills, like, Natalie and then Michelle, or vice versa, and nobody else, then she's not covered. She's crazy but smart.
You really did like this movie, did you?
Also, I was just like, she's batshit crazy. Like, why are we looking for logic in what she chooses to do? She literally poured Pop Rocks and Drano down someone's throat to keep to the theme of urban legends.
Yeah.
Pop Rocks didn't do shit.
No.
It was just, and then she took the body and hid it in the abandoned dorm. So nobody knows that it was with an urban legend death except for her.
Yeah, that's true.
There's so much about this movie that just, like, at every turn, you're like, she's unbalanced.
Yeah, she's definitely unbalanced. But that for me, I was like, oh,
Yeah, no, this isn't a revenge story. This is,
just about
I jumped
crazy
off
old
the
Brenda.
sanity cliff and landed straight into crazy, and I'm just, like, treading water. I'm having a good time. I'm gonna float down the lazy river crazy.
Just as Brenda is about to kill Natalie by removing her kidneys, as the kidney heist, urban legend, Reese appears to come to Natalie's rescue, but Brenda attacks Reese with a knife and wrestles her gun away. I'd be like, I knew it.
Mm.
You chubby old bastard. I knew you would fuck this up. This is why you bring backup. But then Paul appears, applauding Brenda for her
Mm.
revenge plan and offers wanting a part of it for the credit of his career. I did like this because Brenda was not fooled by it, and before
Mhm.
she can shoot either one of them, Reese revives and shoots Brenda.
Yes.
Then I'd be like, I knew you could do it. You're forget what I said. I take it all back. I take it all back. I love you. However, as Paul and Natalie are driving away to find help and safety, Brenda sits up in the back seat of their car and attacks them in the same manner she killed Michelle in the opening scene. How the fuck did she get before they?
Okay, because she gets pushed out the window, remember?
Oh yeah, right. So
But I
third
guess nobody
story.
went looking for her.
No, that's true. But you think when you push someone out a third story window, they're gonna be,
You think they're at least gonna be mangled.
or yeah,
They didn't know they
unconscious
were
for a
supposed to,
bit.
but then this goes back to the very first urban legend in this movie. Always check the fucking back seat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because Paul smashes the car into the guardrail. Fucking Brenda smashes through the windshield and off a bridge into a river far below.
Mm.
Sometime later, at another college campus, a group of college students are discussing the recent Pendleton massacre and about the urban legends. When one student, who is alive and well, Brenda, with a different haircut, offers to tell them the real story about all of it. Yeah, for a chick that was shot, stabbed, headfirst through a window, drowned,
Yeah, she looked
fallen out of a
good.
building. Yeah, she looked really good.
She needs a little bit of conditioner on her hair, but other than that, she looks real good.
And her new college friends looked old as shit.
They look like caricatures
Yeah,
of late 90s college students.
yeah, they did.
Like, if 35-year-olds were pretending to be college students in 1999, that's what it would have been. That's who they were.
And that is our movie.
Yes.
All right, so your score.
I'm giving it an 8.
Wow.
It was awesome. Here's the thing. Okay, I'm gonna put this up. There was a lot of nostalgia. I will give you that. Are there plot holes and logic holes? 100%.
There's so many.
But this is also a slasher movie. Nobody's looking for everything to make sense. Otherwise, they would have stopped making Halloween. They would have stopped making Friday the 13th. They would have stopped making Screams. So it doesn't have to make total sense. It just has to make enough sense that it can push you through the story. It was also incredibly well shot. And the acting was definitely above average.
Yeah.
Was it fantastic? I mean, for the most part, yes, but there were a couple holes in the acting. But It was a story that was told. It was told well. It might not have been the most, like, sensical story, but they wrapped it all up and they brought it around full circle, and it was great. The kills were creative, and the movie was well shot, and it was still fun to watch.
So a big old 8 from
Huge
Anna.
8. It's still not a
Wow.
great movie, that's why it didn't get any higher. I'd like to point that out.
All right. Well, here's my score. Urban Legend. Hold on. I gotta edit that out. I don't know why it's so dry in here. Oh, I hope I don't have whatever I caught the last time I said that.
Mm,
Ugh. Urban Legend isn't a well-written movie. If you look at the movie based solely on the writing, it was shit. The plot holes were ridiculously huge. Like our opening of the live, our opening of the live show, like you could drive a semi truck through some of those plot holes. This is the movie. That's what we're talking about. A lot of it didn't make sense, but that's not to say I didn't have fun watching it. The acting was fine. The pacing was fine. The death scenes were good. Are Not all of them were great, but most of them were good. And in the end, I'm glad I watched it. Am I going to watch it anytime soon? Again, no. Is it persuading me from watching the other urban legend movies? Quite the opposite. I took joy in the silliness of this movie. Its biggest and best-selling feature was the nostalgia of actors
mm,
and being a 90s slasher. I'm not watching this anytime soon, but that is not to say I won't. I give it a 5.5. Just
mhm.
above meh, it was okay. And that's our 5 is I can justify liking it back in the day. It has a few good lines and a few good scenes. It even has a wonderful layer of nostalgia, but it just didn't hold up to our memories of it. I would be a toss up if I ever watch it again. So I'm giving it a 5.5 because it kind of did hold up to the memories I had, and it's not a toss up if I ever will watch it again. I will watch this movie again.
Mhm.
And like I said, I did have fun watching it. And sometimes a movie's just okay, and you can still
Yeah.
have fun. Yeah. It's when you get down to the 4s and 3s and 2s that you wish you didn't watch it.
Yeah, no, this one was a super fun movie, and I remember why I bought it on DVD, and I was like, "Shit, why haven't I watched this lately?" Like, it's a fun movie. Are there logic holes in the plot? Yeah, 100%. But it's also a slasher movie, and I mean, it's not based on reality.
No. And for me, it was the nostalgia. It was a 90s slasher through and through.
Oh, 100%.
Um, and yeah, I had fun watching it. It was just not my favorite movie, but I will watch it again. Um, I can definitely see watching Final Cut and Bloody Mary. Like I was looking over the movies we watched recently, and I
Yeah.
can see next summer easy, like especially like doing drive-in sequel like
Yes.
2 movies. I think we could handle if we can handle this, I think maybe next time we should do it like every week, like 2 bad movies of like sequels and part 3s of
I'm down.
movies like Anacondas and Leprechauns and Urban Legends. Yeah,
We should
it's
do
just
Tremors.
oh, Tremors. Yeah. Yes. And
All
like,
5 of them.
yeah, I love those movies.
So bad, they're
Oh,
good.
they're so bad. Yeah. So in the end, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, buy it, rent it, stream it, skip it. I'm gonna say if you liked it, then I'm gonna say stream it. In all good conscience, I can't suggest that you pay money for it. I did. I'm not mad that I paid for money. I'm fine with it. I had enough fun.
Mhm.
Even with plot holes, I did not like it as much as Anna, but I had enough fun that I didn't mind paying money for this at all. But in all good conscience, I cannot suggest people pay money. That's me. What would you say
See,
for people that
if for people who
remember
haven't
liking it?
seen it before, stream it, 'cause I don't think it warrants a rental fee, like paying for a rental. However, if you did watch it before and you remember liking it, totally worth the rental. Because if you have fond memories of this movie, chances are you'll be surprised by how much you like it still. And
Yeah,
like you won't be mad that you paid for it. However, if you're not a big fan of 90s slasher films or horror films, because it is a very particular genre, d- don't bother paying for it. Just stream it when it comes on a streaming service. You don't need or borrow the DVD from one of your friends who
yeah.
happens to have it.
Could this
Assuming
be
you still have a
rebooted?
DVD player.
Yeah, if you have well, if you have a video game system or
Yeah.
computer, you probably sort of do. Could it be rebooted or reimagined today?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I said absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see a tighter movie like this with less plot holes.
Honestly, with a few small reworkings, this could be a super tight, really well done horror movie.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, if done today. It doesn't need a complete overhaul, and it also doesn't need a complete rewrite. There are just a few things that you could kinda tweak and kinda shift, and you would end up with a much tighter plot, a um, much tighter movie overall. But I mean, you don't have to reboot it, but it's totally redoable. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so that was Urban Legend, and I gave it an 8, and I gave it a 5.5. So for the podcast, we hope you enjoyed our review of Urban Legend. Go watch it at your own risk if you haven't seen it recently. Please check us out on Facebook or Twitter or TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, whatever. We're on everything. You can watch us every Wednesday, 9 p.m., unless it's like something like this, and it's on Thursday on YouTube and Facebook. Or you can watch the podcast on YouTube or just listen to the podcast wherever you're listening to this podcast now. Okay. And for those who watch us live or later, we are going to go to intermission. And when we come back, yeah, it's our last drive-in special. That's sad.
I know.
Summer's coming to a close.
It kinda makes me a little sad. I was like, "Oh."
Yeah,
I was
because
looking
when
ahead. I was entering in vacation dates because that's part of my job. People who take I'm putting it in the calendar, and I was like, "Oh, it's gonna
yeah,
be September in a few weeks."
yeah. Well, actually, when that Urban Legend, with the drive-in, it'll be the first weekend of September, and that's I know the last day of September summer is like September 21st or
September
something,
21st, but no, Labor
but
Day
that's
is
still a
always
long week.
considered
Yeah,
Labor Day weekend is the end of the summer. I don't care who you are.
it's
I
still
don't
that
care.
kid mentality.
Yes,
Yeah, it's always gonna be after Labor Day. That's it,
100%.
because the kids go back to school, which is great, but then you
Sure.
also lose that not having to get up and rush in the morning, and
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
take your word on that.
I'm still hoping to get all of September out of my pool. Last year, September was not great.
Mm.
So here's hoping. All right. So we're going to go on intermission. And then when we go, oh, I can't wait. These two look phenomenal.
Intermission time, folks. So hurry, hurry, hurry. Step right over to our refreshment center for the most extravagant array of refreshment goodies ever assembled under one roof. Enjoy breathtaking, mouth-watering goodies. Everything from a snack to a delicious full meal. At our refreshment center, you'll find a large variety of goodies to satisfy your hunger, your thirst, or your sweet tooth. So hurry, hurry, hurry. Visit our refreshment center now. The show starts in 3 minutes. The show starts in 2 minutes. The show starts in 1 minute. And now, on with the show.
There we go. Why? All right. All right. Welcome back to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. If you are joining us, we are about to do our third and final drive-in special. I am looking forward to these movies.
Me too.
If only because I really, really don't remember them. I've seen them, but I don't remember a lot. Like, it's not a total blank, but enough that I'm super excited about watching these movies. That being said, I will say after getting all the things ready for the preview,
Yeah.
I couldn't be more excited about watching two movies. One is loved / lambasted for being completely different than the first Sleepaway Camp.
Oh, really?
And the pure hatred I uncovered for Halloween Resurrection.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it has its fans, 3 people in Boise, Idaho, I'm sure. But talk about
One in Toronto.
Yeah, talk about hate a movie.
Oh, it's one of the shittiest movies
Wow.
ever made.
Oh,
100%. One of the shittiest movies
I don't
ever
remember
made.
it like that. I don't remember it being like, oh, that's the best Halloween movie ever. But I remember it being okay. I remember it. At least I think I
It's
do.
been a while since I've seen it, but here's what I love it. I remember loving it, but I also remember it being terrible. Like, just pure and utter shit. So, we'll see if I still feel that way after this is done.
Yeah. Now, Halloween Resurrection, I do remember the early exit of Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes.
I was young and just happy a Halloween movie came out, so I didn't care. I remember this is a slasher, a Michael Myers movie. I did not buy the DVD though, and I bought a lot of DVDs back in the day. I didn't watch it a lot after, so I'm wondering how much I really did actually like. I remember the web show basis of the
Yeah.
movie, and I remember Busta Rhymes.
We all remember Busta Rhymes.
Yeah. Now you haven't seen Sleepaway Camp 2.
I have not.
Okay. I remember it being funny for some reason. I remember it being over the top. I remember me and my friends seeing the VHS cover because back in the day it was on VHS. We didn't see it then, but we saw the cover at a video store, and the fact that it had a hockey mask and what looked like Freddy Krueger's gloves in this
Yeah.
girl's backpack, we really thought Jason and Freddy were in that movie. And I remember that they were not. Or not the actual Jason and Freddy.
Yeah.
So you remember nothing.
I remember nothing
right.
because I've never seen it.
All right. Well, let's go over some of the box office. Now, this is easy
Yes.
because there is no box office for Sleepaway Camp. I can't find anything on how much money made. It could have been a straight to
video.
Yeah. The only thing I found is that they were both shot number 2 and number 3 back to back to keep the budget down, and each got like $465,000 each. So it's just under $1 million for the 2 movies.
Impressive.
Yeah. Now, on the other hand, We do have box office on 1980. It's supposed to be 1998. Jesus Christ.
It's okay. We forgive you.
Okay, it opened at 4th place behind Men in Black 2, Road to Perdition, and Reign of Fire. It had a budget of $13 million. It opened at $12.2 million. Domestic haul was just over 30 and international just over 7. So 37, almost $38 million. I believe what they say is with marketing that you have to do 2 times your budget
Yeah.
to break even. So this movie did well.
It made a profit.
Yeah, and then after this it was easily video rentals, and back in the 90s and early 2000s video rentals were huge. So now let's go over some trivia. All right. You can start, and then we'll just go one after the other. We're going to start with Sleepaway Camp 2 because that's what's there.
Done.
And I tried to make it a little larger
No,
so we
it's
can read
okay.
it better.
I figured out how to do it.
Oh, okay. Oh, you figured out the...
Yeah, make it full screen. I'm so fancy. So the characters, Charlie and Emilio, played by Jason Ehrlich and Justin Noel, are the real-life names of Molly Nagel's Renee Estevez brothers, Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez.
According to some cast and crew members, during production filming, Pamela Springsteen did not tell anyone she was Bruce Springsteen's sister. Several found out about it years later.
Because Springsteen being her last name didn't tip anybody off?
Yeah, maybe it was one of those things. I think she is. No, probably. You think you'd ask. That would have been a big deal.
Yeah.
Like some concert tickets or...
Felissa Rose was asked to return as Angela Baker, and she did a reading, but didn't quite click with the comedic one-liners that Angela delivered in the sequels. She was also preparing to attend college at the time.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Filmed from the 20th September 1987 till the 9th of October 1987, back-to-back with its sequel, Sleepaway Camp 3, Teenage Wasteland, 1989, shot from the 12th of October 87 until 31st of October 1987. Both were filmed in 6 weeks.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Filmed on location at a YMCA youth camp in Waco, Georgia.
That's a before, and that's a picture now of what that area looks
wow.
like. They kept the pool, but they turned it into like a pond.
Oh,
Yeah. And the only other thing that's still from that camp is old one of the old cabins is still there,
oh, really?
but it's all taken over by nature. Angela's dream sequence was filmed to pad out the movie to the required 80 minutes. So they had to add some stuff.
Fantastic. That's how flimsy the story is. Michael A. Simpson said in an interview that since some actors were underage, 16 or 17, the Georgia Department of Labor had reps on the set the entire time, making sure those actors weren't involved in nude scenes or said any dialogue with profanity. During the scene where Valerie Hartman's character gets out of a pool braless, wearing only a wet t-shirt, her nipples are clearly visible under the shirt. In the script, there was a line which went, "Hey, Emilio, check out those nips." But the Georgia reps said they couldn't have a kid under the age of 18 say that. So they changed it to, "Hey, Emilio, party hats at 2:00. Sullivan said, "It's always great to see your tax dollars at work."
I think that's worse.
Party hats at 2:00?
I think that's worse than, hey, check out those nips.
That's terrible. What? Oh, God.
The characters are named after actors associated with quintessential 1980s film culture, predominantly members of the Brat Pack. Molly Ringwald, Sean Penn, Ali Sheedy, TC, Tom Cruise, Uncle John Hughes, Mayor Winningham. That name doesn't sound familiar.
St.
Mayor
Elmo's
Winningham.
Fire.
Oh, yes, it does. Okay, yeah. Rob Lowe, Demi Moore, Leah Thompson. This is going to ruin the movie for me. Brooke Shields, Jodie Foster, Anthony Michael Hall, Judd Nelson, Charlie Sheen, Phoebe Cates, Emilio Estevez, and Diane Lane. That's all
Wow.
I'm gonna be thinking about when I watch this now.
Totally.
All right. Now we're off. You can start with here's some trivia from Halloween Resurrection.
Yar. Jamie Lee Curtis hated the idea of a sequel as she felt that Laurie had a satisfying ending in the previous film. She initially refused to be in this film until she ultimately agreed to do her part, only under the condition that she is killed off in the opening of the film so as to make sure her character, Laurie Strode, or herself, wouldn't appear in another sequel. At the time of the film's initial release, executive producers Malik Akkad and Mustafa Akkad tried to explain it by claiming Jamie Lee Curtis was so impressed with the screenplay that she wanted a large part in it. She has publicly stated that was not the case. She was under contract to do it. I love
And
you,
she did
Jamie
3
Lee.
more after this.
Yes, but totally different ones.
Yes. Yeah. John Carpenter has stated that the movie made him cringe.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was first named Halloween: The Homecoming, but producers wanted a title that said Michael Myers is alive. So in February 2002, the film was officially renamed Halloween Resurrection 2002.
Yeah, I think Halloween Homecoming would have been better.
I know.
Originally, the executives of Miramax wanted to continue the series by creating a whole new story of which didn't have anything to do with Michael Myers after the last film, in a similar manner to Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, 1982. However, poll results conducted throughout fan websites proved the producers that fans wanted Michael Myers to return yet again. That's what John Carpenter was originally going to do. He was
Mm,
going to make a Halloween movie every year, just a different, like an anthology, like a different
yeah,
story. I think that would have been a smarter way to go.
that would have been awesome.
Yeah, that would have been cool. I mean, Halloween 3, I've seen it a few times. What ended up being the greatest movie, but at least it was something different.
I don't really like it.
A lot of people don't like it.
Several new endings were written during production, and the cast was never sure how the film was actually going to end. 4 different endings were filmed, and the director wanted the studio to ship a different ending to each theater, a technique used before during the theatrical release of Clue, 1985. However, the studio disagreed, and the endings now appear on the DVD and Blu ray.
I did not know that. I did not know that about Clue either. I kind
I
of
knew that
remember
about
hearing
Clue.
about that.
I knew that about Clue.
I'd be pissed though if there was
I-
another movie,
but
same movie but with a different ending.
But that was the point.
Yes.
Everybody started going to different theaters to see if they could see the different endings.
Yeah.
That was just fucking smart.
Yeah. That's a
But
neat concept.
I think I have this on DVD. So now I wanna see if they have all the endings on there.
Halloween Resurrection.
Halloween Resurrection. I think I do. I think I have it as a combo with Halloween,
Oh, H2O and
H2O.
Jamie Lee Curtis appears on the movie cover with short hair, despite having long hair in the film. If looked at more closely, one can easily tell that it's the same picture of her that was used for the poster of the previous film, Halloween H2O, 20 years later, 1998. Yeah, something tells me she really didn't want to do this movie and was
Oh,
like,
she really didn't.
yeah, I'm not, no. Can you do a picture with us? No, fuck off. Give me my millions and fuck off.
I think there was a lot of, "Do you think we could get Jamie Lee in for a photo shoot?"
Yeah.
And every single person being like, "Maybe we don't. Like, maybe we just have her do the movie and leave it at that." While in the asylum, Laurie Strode has a Raggedy Ann doll. In the original movie, she had a similar Raggedy Ann doll on the dresser in her bedroom.
Oh,
So nice.
Bianca, oh, fuck me. Kajilik,
Kalik,
Kalik
maybe?
cannot scream, and her screams had to be dubbed in post production.
Interesting.
You think you'd do that during the
Audition process?
rehearsal? Yeah.
You
No,
would think
yeah, the
so.
audition. Yeah, forget the rehearsal. Yeah, the
Forget the
audition.
rehearsal. In the audition room, there should be, "Okay, now give us a scream."
And scream. I can't. Next.
The name of the psychology professor at Haddonfield University is Dr. Mixter. This was also the name of the doctor in Halloween 2, 1981, that treated Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis, and was killed by Michael Myers with a needle in the eye. Nice.
Director Rick Rosenthal previously directed Halloween 2, 1981, 21 years later. Just for those listening, Rick Rosenthal is the director of Halloween Resurrection as well. I
God
guess I
bless.
should have put that in.
No, you put director. He did it 20 years earlier.
Yeah.
It made sense.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So Katie Sackhoff, Jen, did not watch the entire film until late 2020, where she reacted to her own performance and the film in late 2020 on her YouTube channel, though she had said in interviews that she went to the premiere with her parents.
She's
Yeah,
a
she went
liar.
outside to get popcorn and never came back in.
Yeah. The director wanted Katie Sackhoff to lift her shirt and reveal her bra in one scene, but she refused. So they brought in more stunt titties. So they brought in a body double to do it, but Sackhoff had no idea until she went to the premiere with her parents. When the movie cut to a close-up of her character flashing her bra, Sackhoff's parents both looked at her shocked, thinking it was her. To make matters worse, according to Sackhoff in an interview, the double had much smaller breasts than her, so she was worried people might think she had small boobs.
That's the weirdest thing to worry about.
She's a bit I love Katie Sackhoff. She's awesome.
Oh yeah, no, she
But
is
she's
awesome.
she's
But still,
yeah. She seems like she'd be a little wacky.
I love that that's the concern. Her titties are smaller than mine. I'm afraid people are gonna think my
I don't
titties are that small.
I don't want people to think I have small titties.
What? The only one movie to establish Michael Myers' birth date, October 1957.
So that's when he was born.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Michael's knife is a 12-inch Victorinox Forstner with rosewood handle.
It is a very lovely knife.
That's a very big fucking knife.
Yeah, well,
The size of that thing.
It's the second lowest rated Halloween movie in the franchise. Second
Now,
lowest.
yeah, it actually said the lowest rated Halloween movie franchise. But when I was doing the Rotten Tomatoes thing,
Yeah.
Halloween, from when this trivia was made, Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers actually fell even more
Oh,
to be the lowest rated.
interesting.
Resurrection was for a while, and now Curse of Michael Myers is.
Oh, God bless.
All right. So now let us go to the tail of the tape. Do I have to turn it off? Yep. All right. Sleepaway Camp 2 Unhappy Campers is a 1988 horror rated R and comes in again in a 1 hour and 20 minutes. It seems short. Well,
That's literally the bare minimum to be considered a feature film.
yeah, because I think that's what Grizzly 2 was, and that seemed like a long time.
Let's hope this one moves a little faster.
Taglines. And they thought it was just another ghost story.
Huh?
No.
No.
This year, camp's a scream.
What? That's
When you-
grammatically incorrect.
When you when you go camping, just take the essentials.
That's stupid.
That's it.
Why would people do those taglines? Those are terrible, terrible taglines.
All right, synopsis. Angela Baker, Pamela Springsteen, who was the main camper antagonist in the first movie, is now a psychotic transsexual, escapes from a mental hospital and surfaces at a summer camp as a counselor who lectures her teenage charges on proper moral behavior. Those teens who break her strict rules, from the camp chatterbox or sex-obsessed girl to boys who are peeping toms, are murdered by the imposter in various gruesome ways. As more campers go missing, intrepid counselor Molly, Renee Estevez, begins to piece together the truth.
Okay, this makes me very excited to watch this.
It does, doesn't it?
It does.
And the movie poster, because we've been looking at the VHS cover, is a lot like the VHS cover.
Yes.
When you go camping, just take the essentials. And they're showing the hockey mask and the the glove that looks like Freddy Krueger. If you're listening to this, it's an attractive girl with a backpack in the forest, and Jason a cheap Jason mask and Freddy Krueger glove hanging out of her backpack. You can see where me and my friends might have been confused at 8 years old.
Is that also a chainsaw?
That is a chainsaw.
Yeah.
So we got
I
a
was
little
like, is that a chainsaw or a tree?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre going as well.
Fantastic.
Now, you have to be warned because where the first movie took it was not a serious movie at all, but it took a very serious tone. It
Mhm.
tried to. Number 2 went the opposite direction.
I can't wait.
Now, Halloween Resurrection, Tale of the Tape is a 2002 horror, rated R, comes in at an hour and 29 minutes. Okay, buckle your seatbelts.
I'm ready. Hit me.
It's not just hitting you, it's the amount.
The amount.
Evil finds its way home.
Okay, maybe.
Yep, I should have just left it with that. Evil never dies. You can burn it, you can shoot it, you can lock it up forever, but evil never dies.
That's stupid.
That is stupid. The Shape is back in action.
What?
Dumb. Well, he's referred to as the Shape, and now he's back in action.
That's stupid.
That's pretty bad. Everyone can see you, everyone can hear you, but on July 12th, no one can help you.
Also very stupid.
Yeah, that might be all right on like
See, if they had
a
taken out
billboard or something.
but on July 12th, if they had taken that out, if it was just everyone can see you, everyone can hear you, no one can help you, that's a good tagline.
Yeah.
Marketing departments.
We're not even halfway there. Michael's work in Haddonfield is not done yet.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Brother versus sister for one last time.
No.
Evil comes home.
Okay, good one. That's a good one.
Michael Myers is back and he's ready to clean house.
That's fucking stupid.
It's like they're making a sitcom.
Right? Or a Disney movie?
On July 12th, Michael comes home and this time there will be no escape.
What? Why are they?
The night he came back.
No.
Okay, that was it.
Jesus Christ. So many so bad. So bad. Fire the whole marketing department.
Yeah, they really went to town. All right, the synopsis. The original House of Horrors, the dilapidated home of infamous serial killer Michael Myers, has now become the set of a webcam reality show. But when the veteran slasher discovers that a group of university students has taken over his old killing grounds, he decides it's time to bring the Blades out of retirement. Even the synopsis is bad.
Somebody in that same marketing department wrote that.
Yeah. And the movie poster, again, a little darker. The mask is a little more worn.
Mm-hmm.
For those listening, it's half of it is Michael Myers' face. The other half is the knife. And then within that knife, we have Busta Rhymes. We have the girl that can't scream. We have Jamie Lee Curtis from H2O. We have
Tyra
Banks. And
then
sorry.
The guy
don't
from
know his
Save the
name.
Last Dance, whose name I can never remember.
That guy.
Yeah, huh?
Yep. All right. Yeah. Yeah, the marketing department wasn't very good.
No, they were terrible. They were absolutely terrible.
Now let's go to my favorite, the Rotten Tomatoes. All right, so I'm pretty sure Sleepaway Camp 2 is first.
Okay.
Okay, so with 11 critic reviews, 55% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Not
Just
bad.
over 5,000 audience, it's at 46%.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you can start this one.
Oh, thanks.
Here are the fresh.
Sleepaway Camp 2 pushes fully into horror comedy that is guided by Pamela Springsteen's jovial take on the franchise villain. There isn't near as much taboo or shock value as the original, but this sequel has fun with its sizable body count. Cody Leach on YouTube. Original score 3 out of 5.
It's absurd, trashy, violent, nasty, disgusting, and entirely entertaining. Anthony Arago, Dread
Mm.
Central.
Setting Hughes style teens, armed only with their own whining idiocy, against a versatile killer with a low tolerance for adolescent antics. Anton Beitel, projected figures.
Far more subversively comical than the 1983 original, Sleepaway Camp 2 admirably mixes things up in a way that not only manages to still be faithful to the spirit of the first film, but also takes some wild leaps in tone and approach. Heather Wixon, Daily Dead, original score, 4 out of 5.
Dang.
All right, Rotten. After you.
Thank you. An insult to anyone in the audience who has two brain cells to rub together. David Keyes, cinemaphile.org, original score 0.5 out of 4.
0.5. If your main reason for seeing a movie is a big quantity of corpses, then Unhappy Camper is right up your alley. Tim Brayton, Antagonist and Ecstasy, original score 2 out of 10.
Damn. On a normal movie scale, I'd rate Sleepaway Camp 2 pretty damn low, but the healthy body count and copious score rates this a must-see for any self-respecting horror freak. Scott Weinberg, efilmcritic.com, original score 2.5 out of 5. That's actually not bad.
No, that's not a bad review, actually.
No.
You'll never look at an outhouse the same way again. Nick Shager, Lessons of
Sure.
Darkness, original score C+.
Mm,
I'm going to be on the lookout for the outhouse.
me too. Unhappy Campers is like a good prank, one that is unfortunately ruined by an obvious wink. Rumsey Taylor, not coming to a theater near you.
All right, IMDb, I will start. 13,000 user rating puts it at 5.5, almost exactly where Rotten Tomatoes is.
Mhm.
And we're going to start with 10 to 6. Positive. I'm a happy camper. 10 out of 10. No God, no masters.
A fun, inventive slash fest. 9 out of 10, clone.
Unhappy campers, happy gorehounds. 8 out of 10. Movie man Kev.
Mullets, boobs, and gore galore. 7 out of 10, Stevie Boy 666. Honorable mention, cheap, tasteless, and utterly stupid. And I mean that as a compliment. Happy ending rocks.
In a different league than the original, but still entertaining. 6 out of 10. Maddie Matt Forever. All right, that is the positive. Now we go IMDb. 5 to 1 is not good.
Sequels suck. 5 out of 10, acid burn 10.
Isn't Acid Burn from Hackers?
Correct.
Ugh. A very stinky poo-poo horror movie. 4 out of 10. Jacob John Taylor 1.
Thank you, Jacob John Taylor 1. Thank you. Ouch. 3 out of 10, film guy 7.
Unhappy Video Renters. 2 out of 10. Jimmerman Fish.
A sequel I didn't want to a movie that I didn't like. 1 out of 10, Kyle Haynes 96.
Sometimes it's these reviews that make me want to watch the movie more.
Oh my god, so much.
All right, Halloween Resurrection has 70 critics, and it comes in at 10%.
Jiminy Crickets.
50,000 audience members give it 25%. Critic consensus. The only thing this tired slasher flick may resurrect is nostalgia for when the genre was still fresh and scary. Wow, 10. That might be the lowest movie we've.
It's the lowest movie. We've
Yeah.
never seen anything that low.
Nope. All right. I will start with the fresh. I have to admit that I had a good time with this brain dead slasher flick, but not in spite of its myriad stupidities, but because of them. Ken Hankey. I remember Ken Hankey. Mountain
Mhm.
Express, original score, 3 out of 5.
Like one of those offshoot Godzilla movies. I had so many laughs with this. I can have fun with this. It's dumb, but I can watch this again. Anthony Arrigo, Dread Central.
It's a ridiculous, absurd slasher film with a concept that is so bad that it's undoubtedly good and makes for some wicked entertainment. Felix Vasquez Jr., cinema crazed.
No, it's not as single-minded as John Carpenter's original, but it's sure a lot smarter and more unnerving than the sequels. Glenn Lovell, San Jose Mercury, original score 3 out of 4. Wow.
Halloween Resurrection isn't exactly quality cinema, but it isn't nearly as terrible as it could have been. Beth Jones, Rannoch Times, original score 2.5 out of 5.
I think that's Roanoke.
Roanoke? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The latest entry in the horror series is simply a slasher flick. At that level, it's not bad, with some clever twists on the genre. Randy Cordova, Arizona Republic, original score 3 out of 5.
Holy Mad Maniac in a Mask, Splat Man. Good old fashioned slack and hack is back. Alex Handel, Juicy Cerebellum.
Mm-hmm.
Original score 8 out of 10.
Dang.
Now, that wasn't me picking through the positive. That was the only positives. That was 7 of them. 70 critics, 10%, 7. So
Love
I
it.
put all of them on there. Again, at the ending of this, you could start, and then there are more than 1 out of 10 ones. There's a few of them.
Oh,
There were a
nice.
lot to choose from.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh no, wait. We're still on Rotten Tomatoes. Forget what I just said.
Oh,
That's IMDb.
okay.
There were so many friggin' ones I had to go through on Rotten Tomatoes. There were 63 bad reviews.
Jesus. Halloween Resurrection is an embarrassment to a franchise that I hold near and dear to my heart. A franchise that has entertained viewers for the past 40 years, and its fans deserved more than this film. David Gonzalez, The Cinematic Reel, original score 0.5 out of 4.
0.5 out of 4.
Damn, David.
Meyer shows up and slaughters almost everyone until martial artist Harris and Sarah Moyer team up to shock him in the nuts and say things like trick or treat, motherfucker. I fucking hope that's how it ends. Steve Newton, Georgia Strait, original score 1.5 out of 5.
Provides the Halloween franchise with a clear objective: make the worst movie of the series a virtually flawless collection of all the things that can make a slasher film unwatchable. Tim Brayton, Antagony and Ecstasy, original score 1 out of 10.
Wow.
He's mad.
Oh, here we go. 3. We'll go back and forth. Here's another entry that can be completely wiped from existence, and everybody would be better off. Brian Rowe, In Session Film.
Resurrection may be the worst Halloween to date. Mark H. Harris, Black Horror Movies, 1.8 out of 5.
Oh, he scores movies like you. He comes, he kills, he fries, he stirs again. He's about as scary as Perry Como. Joe Bob Briggs, United Press International, 0 to 4. That's Joe Bob from Joe Bob's Last Drive-In on Shudder.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you put up one in Portuguese?
I think it's Spanish, but it might be. I don't know.
No, that's Portuguese.
Oh, look at that.
A única pessoa que se deu bem com este filme foi Jamie Lee Curtis, que garantiu sua saída definitiva da série. The only person who was indebted to this film was Jamie Lee Curtis, who guaranteed her definitive side of the series. That's not what it's.
No, there's something lost in translation.
100%.
I do not speak that original language, so I had to use Google.
So I think it's a única pessoa que se deu bem. The only person who was good in this movie was Jamie Lee Curtis.
Ah, okay, that makes sense.
And she guaranteed her own end in the series, a definitive end in the series.
Oh, that's a way better translation than what I put down.
I'm pretty sure that's what it says. Feel free to correct me, everybody who's Portuguese. I only have my quarter class, please.
Only a few minutes elapsed before the daddy of all slasher arrives, still with the boiler suit and white mask, which look remarkably clean for a guy who has been mass murdering since 1978, but has never been seen doing laundry. Ian Mantegni, UK critic, original score 1.5 out of 4.
That's fucking awesome. Oh, the only fun part of the movie is playing the obvious game. You try to guess the order in which the kids in the house will be gored. Steve Rhodes, Internet Reviews, original score 1.5 out of 4.
One Resurrection Too Many. John J.
Puccio.
Puccio?
Mhm.
Movie Metropolis, 4 out of 10.
There's only one way to kill Michael Myers for good. Stop buying tickets to these movies. Mike McGranahan, aisle seat 1.5 out of 4.
It's so devoid of joy and energy, it makes even Jason X look positively Shakespearean by comparison. Lou Lemrick, fuck you, Lou. I went into the theaters and watched Jason X, and I remember liking it, but he gave this one 0 out of 4. But I did not think Jason X was Shakespearean.
Oh God, no. But maybe it'll be in comparison to this.
Yeah.
The film's trailer also looked like crap. So crap is what I was expecting. Joe Blow, Joe Blow's Movie Network, 5 out of 10. It's pretty high for someone who didn't like it.
IMDb, 47,000 user ratings. This might be the lowest, 3.9 out of 10 too. That's really low for IMDb.
Yeah.
IMDb user ratings are usually a lot more forgiving. So let's do 10 through 6. These are the good ones. Why do people dislike this one so much? 10 out of 10, DJ Gilby.
This is not awful. It is a lot better than part 3. 9 out of 10. Jacob John Taylor, 1.
Entertaining, but leave your brain at home. 8 out of 10. Saber 677. Honorable mention, not perfect, but a masterpiece when compared to Ends. Horror Rules. Thank you, Horror Rules. I too was not a huge fan of the way Ends ended.
Maybe 8 is enough. 7 out of 10. Phantasm, 1.
Underrated Nostalgia Fest. 6 out of 10. Honorable mention, much better than Halloween Kills. Savage Rocks 39160. Fuck you, Savage Rocks. I liked Halloween Kills. I thought it was awesome.
No offense, Mr. Rosenthal, but you suck. 5 out of 10. Symbiotic Psychotic.
You suck. First 15 minutes are awesome. Then, not so much. 4 out of 10. Loha 21.
Not so bad. It's not worth watching once, but bad enough so you want to watch it again. 3 out of 10. Kevin Robbins.
I hate myself for watching this more than once. 2 out of 10. Austin Wheeler 1.
I'm just going to pretend this movie never existed. 1 out of 10. Labe Master 1.
There is more 110s, so this is so not what I signed up for. 1 out of 10. Oh fuck. TBJCSKCNRRQT reviews.
Halloween Abomination. It's worse than you remember. 1 out of 10. Thundercats 85.
Yeah. I think I like Thundercats 85. I want my money back. 1 out of 10. Ugangas.
Yeah. The fuck is up with this movie? 1 out of 10. Peetwa Dude. Oh god, that was awesome.
Like I said, sometimes they make me want to see it even more.
Right?
So let's watch. Where are you? Here we go. Let's watch. This is Sleepaway Camp 2 Unhappy Campers.
Yep, ready.
And I took great pains not to watch these. That's why there might be some stuff at the beginning and the ending where YouTube suggests stuff.
There used to be this camp about 60 miles from here. Camp Arawak. All these kids started getting killed. Well, it ended up that the killer was the shy 14-year-old girl that everybody picked on. Except she wasn't...
Baby, you're supposed to be in the cabin. Let's go.
Wait, what happened to the killer?
Whatever happened to the good kids in the world?
Oh, don't talk like that, Uncle John. There's lots of good kids. We just have to weed out the bad.
Party hats!
Remember, ladies, nice girls don't have to show it off.
Weird for a trailer.
Where's Phoebe?
I had to send her home. I found her doing things with the boys last night that she had no business doing. I know the rest of you are nice young ladies and you won't get into any trouble.
Let this be a lesson to you. Say no to drugs.
Camp Rolling Hills is the best. Oh, I'm a happy camper. I love the summer sun. I love the trees and forests. I'm always having fun. I don't like being the wicked witch of the West. Hey,
But I know what happens when things get out of control.
you're gonna tell. Oh, I'm a happy camper. I love the clear blue sky. And with the grace of God, I'll camp until I die.
Good night, campers.
That's gonna be so good.
That looks awesome. I won't lie. That looks.
I am so grossed out by the outhouse because ew.
And that's, I guess that's what referenced the Rotten
Yeah.
Tomato review.
That oh
It
god,
looks
that
like
was
it's going to be
terrible.
gross.
Yeah, so gross, so gross. But I'm so excited to watch that movie.
And I saw the party hats at 2:00.
Yes, yes, you did see the party. Also, I think the girl that she sets on fire is Kimberly Williams, who now has a hyphenated last name because she married Paisley. Kimberly Williams Paisley. That's it.
Oh,
Of the
so
Hallmark fame.
your prediction for?
I think I'm gonna love it.
Yeah, it looks.
It looks so bad. It's good.
Yeah, Sleepaway Camp 1 was so bad,
Yeah.
but they tried so. This one, it doesn't look very. They're not taking it as
No.
serious. No, this is.
I think they went the complete opposite direction and they're just
Yeah.
like, let's just have fun with it. Which I'm excited about.
Yeah. Okay, so now. Oh. This one or this one? Okay, so this one is the only one I could find the actual theatrical trailer. I found a bunch of 1-minute trailers for the DVD.
Yeah.
The theatrical trailer is a little blurry, a little grainy, because it was from 15 years ago. Like it went online 15 years ago.
God damn.
So I apologize but that's the only theatrical trailer I could find.
It's okay, let's watch it.
You will enter the childhood home of our most brutal mass murderer.
The home has been rigged up with several cameras, but for the most part, the audience will see only what you see.
6 friends.
Are you sure they're not just putting us in some house with hidden cameras in the shower?
This is gonna be fun.
Have been offered fame and fortune. That's the American dream. All they need to do, all the windows will be boarded up and all the doors will be locked shut behind them. No one will be allowed to leave until the show is over. You stay the night.
Let the dangertainment begin.
Now,
You think this is the one that he used to, do his thing?
the webcast is live.
One flash and you could light up 1,000 computer screens.
You are like this close to getting voted off the island.
The stage is set.
Is anybody else seeing this? That worked perfect.
Whoa!
It's all fake. We've been set up.
I'm only trying to give America a good show.
But the house
Wait, what just happened? We just lost Bill's camera. There's somebody in the hall.
is his.
Michael's here!
This summer,
Somebody please help us.
evil comes home.
Trick or treat, mother.
You want a piece of me?
Hello, Michael.
I knew you'd come sooner or later. What took you so long?
They hired quite possibly the best editor for that. Because that was a movie. If I saw that trailer, I'd be like, I want to watch that.
I think I did see that trailer, and that's why I was like, I want to watch that. They really made it think that Jamie Lee Curtis came to save everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks fine. I say that about every fucking movie. But I'm gonna go in it like they said, because every Halloween has something to do with Laurie Strode or the niece.
Yeah.
This is kind of like where Friday 13th, it's just a group of kids that happen to run into Jason, and this is not your regular story. So that's why I'm
Yeah.
going to try to look at it as. But it
Cool.
looks fun. I noticed everyone I recognized.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that you recognize in there. And I love this movie because it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
And as long as you go into it realizing like it's ridiculous, you're good. If you're looking for a serious horror movie, don't watch it.
No.
Because you're gonna be sorely disappointed. But I can't
Yeah.
wait to hear what you think about it. And it's been a while since I've watched it, so I can't wait to rewatch it.
Yeah, because Halloween H2O, you did score it higher, but I don't
Yeah.
think it was that high.
No, it wasn't. I think it was in the 6s.
Yeah, and mine was in the 4.5 because I was really
Yeah.
disappointed. It was
But I was like, it's still a fun, like 90s. It's fun. It's nostalgic. It's a nice little wrapped up story. And now this one, I'm trying to remember all the stuff, but
yeah, see, I it looked some of it looked familiar, but
yeah.
no, I'm so excited to watch both these movies.
Oh, this is gonna be a fun double feature.
Yeah.
I'm totally gonna watch these back to back.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah.
Right. I'm excited.
Okay, so that's our prediction. And with that, we are going to go watch these two movies and find out if they are indeed as good as we remember, or Anna likes Sleepaway Camp too, because she's never seen it.
True.
Yeah. So we will be back and with our review of these movies. And for the live show, we are going to watch these this week, and we're going to come back Wednesday.
Yes, Wednesday.
Wednesday at 9:00. And yeah, see if we like them. And our preview, I have to send you that list. Our preview of The Principal.
Oh yes.
Our first back to school, because it takes place in a very bad high school.
Mm.
You know, I'm still bummed. That's like just reminding me summer is like ending.
Yeah, sorry about that.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. Please join us again next Wednesday.